Avia definitely has a lot more, modern touches and a lot more special touches as well. I hope the viewers agree with me, but let us know what you feel. Put your comments in the section below.
Alright, so setting off here in the 2023 Integra. So the first thing you notice about this, well, you have a really nice low seat.
Before you can learn how to do something, you have to learn and be a beginner, no matter what the sport is, whether it's sport bike riding, dirt bike riding, cooking, it doesn't matter. And here at Double R Fest, helping people understand the dynamic of motorcycle riding is absolutely key, because like we said many times now, safety and fun are the priority for us. So beginner group is good for sport motorcycle riders who don't have a lot of seat time on their sport bike, aren't necessarily familiar with the practices of sport bike riding at a closed course like we are riding here at Circuit of the Americas. This gentleman in front of us is riding an MV Agusta F3 800. How do I know that? Because I've ridden that bike a million times and I just know. Like we said before, Double R Fest is open to all makes and models of sport bike vehicles. We even saw a Ducati Multistrada out there yesterday. And you can see this guy, for a beginner, is doing pretty dang good. He's got good line selection, his body position's decent, and he is riding smoothly. We are going to make a pass on this gentleman here and then see if we can find any instructors doing their thing. So let's give her the beans one more time. Hey, a back shifted a sorry engine. Oh God, oh no, nothing. Oh, such a squid. Sorry. 999cc i4. Really impressed with what a difference that DMP fork setting adjustment did. Here's the big bump. You gotta be ready for that. There's a Double R Fest track day instructor ahead of those two riders in front of us. Now, it's nice following an instructor because line selection, especially at a big circuit like Circuit of the Americas, isn't the easiest. There's so many turns. There's 20 turns here. There's a lot to remember. And the racetrack is ultra wide. And that's what the instructor is doing here, trying to assist with line selection. They will also come up behind you and see how you are operating the vehicle in an effort to give you some guidance on body position, lean angle, where the vehicle is at different points of the track. There is Grant Lopez, the multi-time road racing champ from back in the day, who's also an American hero who neutralized the active shooter in Florida at the military base a few years ago. That guy is just awesome. Super modest, super talented. He is an active duty sheriff in Pensacola, Florida. He rides for work as a motor policeman a BMW RT 1250. RT-P 1250. I've actually ridden that motorcycle in stock and police configuration, and it is just an awesome motorcycle. I don't know why more law enforcement agencies don't use the RTP bike, because it comes outfitted from BMW with all of the wiring and all of the necessary accessories you need to configure that bike for law enforcement duty. The other bikes, like Harley Davidson's and even the Hondas, do not come from the factory with the wiring and that setup. You have to wire it in and customize it. And as most people know, nothing is better than OE factory in terms of testing and durability. There goes Grant. He's going to help show this Panigale V4 motorcycle rider. Oh, he's on a Superleggera, I think. My gosh. How to better pick his rounds. That guy's on a Superleggera. That thing looks sick. Well, folks, that is a little taste of what you can get at BMW Motorrad's Double R Fest. Make sure to log on to current track days to learn more. See when the next Double R Fest is coming to your circuit. And thanks for riding with us today. We are going to let the big dog eat right now. Oh yeah, this never gets old. It never, ever gets old.
Now let's take it to the music.
It's almost like a dirt bike section through here where you keep the bike almost upright and you move your body from left to right like you're riding a motorbike. That's what the S's almost feels like you need to do to really have a good line selection. I'm horrible through there, but maybe one day I'll get less horrible. I like to run it in 1 or 2. It gives me a good safety net. When I get more comfortable with the vehicle and with the bike, I can lower that setting and it will allow for more wheel spin, but I haven't been riding these sport bikes that much lately and my physical fitness is just way off. I just don't feel comfortable right now, so that is why I am operating the bike in this setting. Here we go, guys. Nice clear track through the S's. God, I love how maneuverable this bike is. It is insane how agile this thing is. Every time I go through that section, I'm just like, jeez, how is this bike so agile? You can see the DTC light coming in when DTC starts activating on this vehicle. And away we go, guys. We're gonna gradually warm up and start giving her more beans. More beans. I love the beans. Give me more beans. Alright. Big dog zone. Engage, big dog. Time to eat. What's for dinner? Beans. That's what's for dinner. Oh, folks. that they held it on pretty nicely. Again, courtesy and respect is the name of the game at these track days. And I just love Circuit of the Americas. A lot of my colleagues and friends don't like this track, but I love the stop and go nature of it. It's fun. I love braking, I love accelerating on sport bikes, and that's what this track's all about. Big braking zones, big acceleration zones. This big sweeping right is a blast too. Let's see if we can get that lean angle a little higher. 51 still. It's just amazing how responsive this motorcycle is. Just the whole synchronization of the controls. This bike is it's really easy to ride. And the level of adjustability that this motorcycle has, you can really turn it from mild to wild with a few swipes of the thumb wheel. It's awesome. This bike has so much adjustability in it that you can easily be a newbie rider and purchase this motorcycle. There was a BMW current track day coach helping that rider with his riding technique. Riding these sport bikes at the circuit is very specialized. Most people haven't grown up riding these bikes in a competition setting, and the track day instructors here at R Fest really help you sharpen your skill set and become a safer, more capable sport bike rider. And that's what it's all about. Safety first. Safety and fun first. Again, the extra engine braking this vehicle offers really helps me right now. My braking ability is just off. And I just love having that little bit of electronic assist engine brake help. Just makes my life easier. Once we get more proficient with the braking, we can go to a reduced engine brake setting. Now earlier I rode the motorcycle with a DMP, the fork setting at a much lower level. I think it was 7. And the motorcycle was downright unrideable at that setting. It just had so much forward pitch. And that's why I like this DDC. Although its actual feel, it's not the best in my opinion, the level of adjustability is very high, and it goes from mild to wild very easily. And in its maximum setting, I have good vehicle feel, or good feel, and I can ride the motorcycle much better than I could in a lower setting. It's really amazing what these technologically advanced vehicles like the S1000RR have become. There is so much adjustability, I keep saying it, but before when you had to fit different parts, adjust things with a screwdriver, do all this kind of testing and research, these bikes just come from the factory, just dialed in. It's crazy. $22,200 as tested for this S1000RR. And I for sure would buy one of these bikes. They represent good value in the superbike class. They come with a 3-year, 36,000 mile manufacturer's warranty with roadside assistance. These vehicles are built in Germany. The fit and finish is just insane. And the maintenance intervals are few and far between. These are excellent bikes. I would throw on some different tires, and I would throw on the Lloyd's Performance Reflash, and away we would go. We would be off to the races, quite literally. Alright, letter E, corner. I love this straightaway. I love holding the line. It's one of the greatest feelings on earth. Letting the dog eat and feeling the force of the S1000. Oh, yes. What a bike. How fun is this? This is about as much fun as you can have with your leather suit on. Good job, BMW Motorrad and current track days. Alright folks, here we go. Gonna do a quick check behind, make sure there's no traffic, and there isn't, thank goodness. And here we go on the Coda surface. Entering this track is always kind of sketchy to me because you have to round that first turn and make sure you're not in anyone's way. And away we go, guys. This is the S's section of Coda. This section of the track requires a motorcycle that is extremely light and maneuverable feeling. Thank God this double R is just that. One of the things that I really love about this bike is just how agile it is. It's extremely agile in terms of its handling from left to right and vice versa. These carbon fiber wheels really do make a huge difference in the amount of maneuverability this bike has. A big high point of navigating a bike like this through the S's. Alright, now we're going to upshift in the third big bump right there. When we started riding this bike in 2013, riding this circuit in 2013 during the Ducati Panigale 1299R launch. That bump was not there. Over the years, this circuit's developed some bumps. Motorcycle, I love the ergonomics on it. It is very, very comfortable. The adjustable rear sets are an excellent addition. I love the ability to tweak the rider foot position. Oh God, this bike eats. I love this bike. The reason why these S and M1000Rs are so cool is because they just have so much character and charisma. These bikes are loaded with character. When you get the engine revving north of 10,000 RPM, you gotta hang the frick on. These things bone out. Nice. Love how light this motorcycle feels. Just north of 420 pounds with a full 4.4 gallons of fuel. And this thing feels even lighter than the spec chart insinuates. There is the super stock champ, Corey Alexander. Nice, let's put a move on him. Nice, dude. Putting a move on him. Another neat feature about this M1000RR that we didn't mention in our little preview commentary is the taller windscreen. I love tall windscreens. Tall windscreens are a big benefit for you tall motorcycle riders out there. Now this M1000RR we're operating has the optional torque map installed. The optional torque map removes the curious second and third gear torque limitation that standard S1000RRs are subject to. The torque map really lets you get a feel for this power band because it allows it to make maximum torque. On the flip side though, the engine is limited in terms of its horsepower. Peak horsepower is well less than what BMW claims. BMW claims these things are good for 205 horsepower, but in US configuration, the best we've ever seen is around 180. And that's with the horsepower mat installed, and that's at the business end of the rear tire. I kind of blew it there, boys and girls. I should downshift. God, I love the handling on this bike. That reduced offset and relaxed rake. The bike just feels less twitchy. This is the intermediate group here at Double R Fest, and that is Travis Wyman, I believe, up in front, who's giving some introductory laps to this woman rider right here. She is operating a BMW R19. We will follow them before we give them a little pass here on the straightaway area right here. Keep things safe and keep things nice. God, I love that quick shifter. It just makes it so easy to downshift through the gears. Oh yeah, let her eat, baby. These bikes eat. If there was one negative thing I'd have to say about this engine, it's the only one negative thing that I've always really thought about this engine ever since it came out for the 2010 model year in the US, and that's just it vibrates like crazy. These engines have giddy, but they vibrate. My God, they vibrate. But what do you expect for a motorcycle that makes 180 horsepower at the business end of the tire? Electronics, oh yeah, Electronics allow this motorcycle to go from mild to wild with a push of a button. It's interesting because you really have to spend some time at the controls of this vehicle to really understand what you want to set the rider aids to. These vehicles have an insane amount of adjustability, and just in terms of electronics. Obviously, there's a ton of adjustability in the mechanical aspects of the motorcycle via suspension adjustment, swing arm pivot adjustment, the swing arm linkage adjustment. But just swiping some buttons will net a vastly different motorcycle. Yes. I love these bikes. Talk about acceleration. I also really like that you're able to adjust the DTC in real time with the handlebar mounted switchgear. That lets you dial in more or less wheel spin for the conditions or your experience level. It's really neat. Professional grade riders on used tires on a warm day, they will certainly like the ability to tweak that. Whoa, what's this guy doing? I love this big deep bowl here at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway. It just makes riding so fun. The brakes on this M1000RR, they're not that much different feeling from the traditional bike, but that extra bit of width definitely will help in terms of heat dissipation. Obviously, it's a cool day out, and here at Chuckwalla Valley Raceway, we don't really have any super deep braking zones. This place is generally pretty mellow on the brakes. It's more of a momentum-based racing circuit. So you're never really on the brakes that hard here, but that's okay. It's cool that BMW is making the bikes more and more up-spec for the most demanding track riders and racers. God, this bike feels so good at lean. Yes! we are just riding around at a very mellow pace. These bikes require a lot of skill and time to really understand a checkered flag for this meet group. Yes. This is a BMW Motorrad instructor in front of us. Let's pass him. Yeah. Maybe not. And the great thing about Chuckwalla Valley Raceways is just a really safe and mellow track to ride at. A lot of runoff room, track's nice and wide, grip is very elevated here, and it's just a nice place to ride a high performance motorcycle like the M1000 RR here. Those carbon fiber wheels, I know that you can get them on the standard S1000 RR, but gosh, they're just awesome. They're absolutely awesome. They make this motorcycle feel so maneuverable. I remember when we rode this bike at the Circuit of the Americas during R Fest in Texas. I couldn't believe how maneuverable this bike was through the S's. That was where the carbon fiber wheels really paid a big dividend. If you haven't checked out that content, make sure to check it out on our Motorcyclist Mag YouTube channel in 4K Premium, of course. I can't say I feel the downforce right now, but it's nice knowing it's there. These Pirelli Diablo SPV3 tires, they heat up so quick. It's worth noting that this bike comes equipped with a 200 section rear tire. These Superbike tires keep getting wider, keep getting taller, improving to be able to keep up with the crazy amount of power that these bikes are capable of delivering. This torque map really makes this bike so much more pleasing to ride. If I had to choose between the horsepower and the torque map, I would absolutely go with the torque map. It just makes the motorcycle feel like it's supposed to out of the showroom box. I know it's silly to spend 24 grand for the standard S1000 RR in M specification, and then $37,000 for this M1000 RR, and not have full access to the power. But that's just the way it goes. I absolutely would spend the money on the torque reflash. And if you didn't want to do it from the factory, Lloyd's Performance in Texas is also a worthy option. Wow, this guy spanked me. I gotta step up. Yeah. Doesn't matter though, because we're still having fun. Any day in the saddle is a good day in our book. Really like the cockpit of this bike. This bike is very easy to move around for a 6 foot tall rider. BMW's always done a good job of considering the tall person, the tall rider, and making these bikes tall rider friendly. Of course, it's a little bit more compact than its predecessor, but not overly so. God, I love the brakes on this bike. I love the way the slipper clutch actuates too. It's super smooth. You can almost kind of feel it kick in right when you get to the apex. revving up way too much for me. The great thing about these quick shifters is you just press down or up on the quick shifter and away you go into the next pad. Now, the good thing about this double R-Fest is you have less full riding groups. We're riding in the advanced group right now, which is limited to 20 riders. Each group only has 20 riders, which is a lot less than a typical track day here at Circuit of the Americas. $600 to participate. $600 gets you in, which is a little bit more, but considering that you don't have any other people that you have to contend with when you're riding, I think it's totally worth it. God, I love this bike. Now, there are 8 instructors right now here at this track day. Normally there's 11, but only 8 due to COVID-19 pandemic and people's schedules. Instructors are just excellent. The main host is Nate Kern, who's a multi-time road racing champ, who's also